Oh my god, am I about to give this 5 stars? Like this? Or did Quicksilver finish me? Hello besties and welcome back to my channel. Today, why do I feel like I talk about my hair in every single video? Today we're trying to channel a little fantasy moment. I have a bow in my hair and I've left her curly. We are going to be reading some popular BookTok fantasy romances that have blown up recently-ish, kind of within the last year or two, because me personally, if you saw either my January TBR video or my 2025 anticipated reads video, you will know I'm going down the fantasy rabbit hole and I'm going deep. I'm digging myself a big hole and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get back out. Given that I found myself with so much romantasy on my TBR this month, I figured it was only fitting to bring you along our little TBR for this video. I'm planning to read 3 books for the video, but if I have time it might turn into 4. But first up, the book I'm currently reading is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. I just got to part 3 this morning, Crescent Moon, so I'm this far in. I've been reading on my Kindle and I only just figured out how far I am into the physical copy about 2 minutes ago. And my heart sank because I have so much book left to read, but I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. So this one is first up. Then the other guaranteed book in this video is gonna be the global phenomenon, as the cover would tell me, Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. Oh my god, this book is, ooh, hello. This book is so thick as well, but I can't do one of these videos and not include it given how much popularity it's gained recently. Safe to say, looking forward to reading this one, despite how friggin' big it is. Then the last 2 options in this video is Rain and Ruin by J.D. Evans. This is a Middle Eastern inspired enemies to lovers. I've heard that the characters are literally like each other's ideal, like they're perfect for each other, so I'm excited to read this one. And then the second option for the 3rd book in this video, how confusing is that, is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This one I feel like has always had some like base level of popularity, but me personally, I've been seeing it around a lot more recently, so I would definitely say this one has some hype around it as well. Now, I have gotten all of these recommendations from BookTok, which is why they're making it to the list in this video, but oh my god, it's just so thick. Coming from a romance reader, these books are so thick. It's actually insane. That is the plan for the video. I'm really looking forward to it, I can't even lie, and I'm so happy that I get to bring you guys along on the experience. I'm gonna go keep reading Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and I will catch up to you when I have something of note to say. Going to be a ball scene. There is gonna be a ball scene, or at least something like it, like a party scene, something to that description. Vale and Lilith are gonna have a bit of a wedding, a belated wedding celebration for political reasons. Have I even told you what The Serpent and the Wings of Night is about? I don't think I have. I don't think I've given you a synopsis. Not The Serpent and the Wings of Night, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. It's been a long day and it's been hot and I'm very tired. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King is the secondary book to The Serpent and the Wings of Night, with Six Scorched Roses acting as a little like bridging novella between the two to explain some of the characters that appear in this book. And we have Rhea, who is a human warrior in a world of vampires. She's an adopted daughter of the Vampire King, and in the first book, her and Rain, who, how do I describe him without giving it away at the end of the book? He's a vampire. He's a battle-hardened warrior, and the 2 of them enter this like series of deadly trials where at the end they get a wish granted by their goddess. So The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King is the book that takes place after that book, after those happenings, after the trial's over, when they have to deal with all of the political discourse. And I feel like that's almost all I can say without giving a huge spoiler to the book. But so far, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, I'm definitely further in than this, but I'm on chapter 30 in the physical book. I think I'm on chapter 32 on my Kindle. So far, I have really mixed feelings with this book. I didn't like the way The Serpent and the Wings of Night ended because one of the characters had a very big secret, a very big change become unraveled, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. The beginning of this book, I didn't like that character whatsoever still, but they're redeeming themselves for me. They're growing on me again. I'm liking them again. I'm still a little not trustworthy of them, but they're growing on me, which I'm pleased to say because I was really scared that I was going to go through this entire book absolutely hating the guts. A bone I have to pick because it's been driving me insane every time they talk about it. So Rain's a vampire, right? He can fly. Araya cannot fly. She doesn't have wings, so she has to be like carried around by Rain for a majority of their like long journeys. Now, the bone I have to pick is what is the position of the flying? As far as I've gathered, Rain's doing the flying, okay? And he holds Araya like knees over the swan, upper back, like in that arm, you know, like cradling her like bridal style. How is he flying? Is he, I feel like I need to stand up to give you a visual, hang on. Is he flying upright like this? Which I feel like looks so stupid, like just flying vertically would look really silly, would be not the most aerodynamic. But if he's flying, how do I do this? If he's flying like this, aren't his arms gonna get sore from that? Like, how is he keeping that up for hours at a time? Is my guy just absolutely yoked? And it just feels so awkward every time I read about it, and I want some clarification. And I want to hear what you guys think, how he's carrying her. There's no practical answer in my mind. And this is such a silly dilemma to have, but it's been plaguing me. It's been on my mind. That's my biggest issue so far, is I don't know what position they're flying. But yeah, so far I'm actually quite enjoying the Ashton and Starkers King. It's definitely picked up now that I'm about 45% of the way in. We also have the two of them going on a little bit of a quest across this countryside while the city falls apart, which is kind of fun. kind of puts you on edge a little bit. And as I said, we're about to have like a party of some description, hopefully. Hoping and praying it's gonna be like a ball scene. Oh, I froth those so hard in books. It just goes so hard every time. I think that's my update so far. I had to make that update before I read any further in the book, so I hope you appreciated it. Please, if you've got any thoughts on the logistics of how they fly, comment them down below. This has literally nothing to do with the video, but I just got a package, and who doesn't love a little haul? First of all, we have a book that I thought I was never gonna pick up, but I saw a fantastic review about it. We have the Book of Azrael. Probably won't be in this vlog, but let me know if you want me to read it on camera, and I absolutely will. I know so many of you are gonna scream about this. You're gonna scream. We have the first 3 books of the Heartstopper series. I mentioned these guys. Oh my gosh, shut up, they're so cute. I mentioned these books in my like anticipated reads of 2025, for like my 2025, oh my god, my 2025 TBR. I can't get them out of the box. What? Shut up, they're so cute. Oh my god, the backs. Shut up. That concludes the book haul. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna go keep reading the Ashton and the Starkers King. We could do an impromptu update right now, actually, hang on. I'm on chapter 53, page 402. I've made a lot of progress since I last talked to you. I had a big reading day yesterday. I'm really enjoying it. The characters have fully redeemed themselves from what went down. There is a lot of drama going down. There's a lot of drama going down. That party scene, oh girl, was great until it wasn't. So the two of them have the opportunity to kind of claim the throne, and Rain, the MMC, is so freaking supportive of Aurea, the FMC. He's like, if I don't make it, I need you guys, all of my people, to support her. Like, she's gonna and kill it. She's gonna be a great queen. I love him. He's so hot. Let me just say, the politics in this book have ramped up so much. There wasn't like a whole lot in the first book because it was like there was undercurrents. There was a slow, like gradual swell of politics. There was the like gradual involvement of certain people in the first book. But this one, this one is where it all comes to a head. There's betrayal. There's little alliances being made between like two populations that we never thought we would see together. We've uncovered a bit more of Misha's backstory. Misha is like the sunshiny best friend of the two of our main characters. Love her so much. It was a really hot, spicy scene. Carissa built up so much tension in that first 50%. When it broke, I was deceased actually. Here I lay on my deathbed. It was so good. The last 30% is going to be very telling as to how I rate this book, how much I enjoy it. Decisions that don't need to be made right now. I'm gonna go keep reading. also that B-roll that you may or may not have just seen of the gnarly electrical storm. Our entire city lost power. It's the next day now, it's the next afternoon. We've come up to my grandpa's, which is why it looks like I've reverted back to the 1960s, but our suburb still doesn't have power. So listen, the universe, she has her ways, and maybe this is her devious plan to just make me sit down and read some books. My pop thankfully has power. He lives like an hour and a half up the road, so we are a-okay. But with all of that spare time that I wasn't perusing TikTok, I managed to finish The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and I really liked it. I feel like I can't give you a whole lot of a summary because I don't want to spoil it, but I really liked it. It was pretty slow going for the first 30%, and I think I've made that very clear. I wasn't loving it whatsoever, but after that, definitely picked up, consumed me, swallowed me, pulled me right back in, and I really enjoyed the rest of it. I think I'm gonna settle on a 4-star. I think I still did prefer the first book, so maybe the first book's like a 4.5, the second one's a 4. It's just that first bit that really let me down because the rest of the book was so good, and it's left like some little plot lines open that I assume is going to get solved in Misha's next 2 books. I'm not actually entirely sure what I'm going to start next. I have both of them on my Kindle, thankfully. I don't have any paperbacks. I've got no props to hold up for you. I'm so sorry. Oh, I need to tick that off on my Goodreads. First book read of the year. Anyway, I'm gonna catch up to you when I start whatever book I'm starting next. Welcome to the reading setup right now. It is feral out there. This is the state of the reading setup right now, by the way. It's so gross out there. We're on our way to the supermarket, but my dad has some little errands to run first. So I'm just sitting here reading my book. What book am I reading? I hear you asking. Well, I put a poll up on my Instagram. If you're not following it, link down in the description. And I sort of knew what the answer was going to be from the minute that I put it up, but I asked you guys whether I should start Quicksilver or Rain and Ruin. And the answer was Quicksilver, because of course it was. But I'm currently 7% in. The chapters in this book are so freaking long. I'm actually gonna have to turn off the like time left in chapter function on the Kindle because it's so discouraging. I'm not like in love just yet. It's fine. I'm hoping because of all the rave reviews that it's just gonna keep getting better and better, but so far I'm not hooked. I'm not in love. I don't love the writing style. I feel like I'm just extra sensitive to writing style. I'm not really sure. It just feels very simplistic, and if I say it feels like a romance author is writing a fantasy book for the first time, if that makes sense. I think after reading Carissa Broadbent, who, I mean, she's probably not like the best at her craft, but her fantasy books feel a lot more, I don't know, the world just feels more full, and she's much more intentional with the words and the language and the vocabulary that she's using. I'm 38 pages in, so there is so much time left for this book to improve, so it's not like a be all and end all situation right now. I am unsure how everyone loves Carry On. I'm assuming he's going to come more into the story and he's like going to have a major role. That's like, he's not a bad person, and if he was the love interest I probably wouldn't mind. And I like the character motivations. They feel very real because our characters are poor and live in this like plague-ridden district in the city, and basically their entire motivation for anything is just out of desperation and survival, which is very real. And so our main character Ceres stole a like a gold piece of wrist armor, like armor from one of the Queen's guards, and that's like a death sentence. That is an execution worthy offense. So they're hunting her down, and her brother has just kind of like tried to sacrifice himself because he was found with the gauntlet on his body, and she jumped in and was like, nah, I stole it actually, pick me, fight me. I always feel like I'm so bad at giving synopsises. I can kind of predict where the story is gonna go. Like, I'm pretty sure she's probably gonna get captured, go back to the Queen's castle. She'll accidentally like summon something because she has this like metal wielding ability apparently. We've not seen it yet. I was waiting for her to like use this power and just like squish all of the guards in their like gold chest plates, but apparently that didn't happen. She's gonna get flicked over to Kingfisher's little icy world, and she'll probably want to get back to the world, to the desert, to her city, because her brother will be left behind potentially, and she won't have known what happened to him. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. I feel like, and I may be wrong. Oh, what is my hair doing? I feel like Kelly Hart may have done some anatomy somewhere. I don't know. She's just calling things like by their proper name, and she's saying like arterial bright red blood and like the palace proper. I can smell someone who knows anatomy. I'm back on my writing style critiquing book. I don't even know if I'll include this in the vlog because it may end up redundant if I end up loving this book. But all of the characters sound the same. Probably sounds like a silly complaint, but we have our like lower class characters in our main heroine, Saris, and her brother, and like their blacksmith or like glassblower or someone, Elroy. And then we have our more higher class people, and we haven't met the queen yet, so I don't know if this will change, but I would think the guards with their even small amount of status wouldn't speak with slang as much as the characters from the lower classes would. It's making things feel very one note, a little bit bland, and like, I don't know, I'm probably complaining needlessly, to be honest, but it's just a little thing that I've noticed, and I would appreciate if there was some more, I guess, some more dynamic dialogue. Why are they kissing already? I'm only 25% in. I'm constantly torn with these vlogs between making them chaotic neutral or lawful good. This is giving chaotic neutral. Why are they kissing already? This better not. We better have some more build up and some more tension. That's all I'm gonna say. Shut up. So I asked the question about how Carry On was going to come back in, and it's not confirmed yet, but I have a really, really sneaky suspicion. Maybe I'm a little bit more invested than I thought I was. Oh, that's so funny. End of chapter 13 for anyone who's read it and is curious. Okay, so Kingfisher said that he like verified that Carry On luggage was Saris's brother using blood. So does that mean Carrion and Saris are related and they've slept together? I didn't sign up for a cousin romance. I really hope that's just a fluke. So, currently I'm 46% in, page 279. If I were to put my feelings into one word, it would be underwhelmed. I think if I wasn't reading Quicksilver for this video and I wanted to give you guys like my review and some quality content and not just give up halfway through, I would DNF it. But I do, and I think I will push through to the end. It's just, I'm so confused. Like, not confused by the book, I'm just confused because I don't know why everyone else loves it and I don't know why it's not hitting for me. Right now, to me, it just feels like a whole bunch of fantasy romance, fantasy, like, aspects and plot points and features of fantasy worlds all smashed together, but not in a very organized way. The one like redeeming factor for me is the little like, she has like a little pet fox that she like adopted that is like half feral. It's really cute. I'm just confused. I don't know why I don't love it. Well, I do kind of know why I don't love it, because it feels a bit random and just not the most cohesive, and like it could use a really good edit. I'm gonna keep reading it because I do want to give you my full thoughts once I finish the book. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I'm missing, and I don't like any of the characters. Well, that's a lie actually. The side characters are such a standout, but our two main characters, I'm just like, I am just finding them very unlikable and quite childish. Oh, you guys, I'm so confused. But I'm gonna go keep reading. I'm gonna push through. Hopefully once we get over the 50% mark, things will sort of come together. It won't feel as, let's throw this element in because everyone loves this, you know? I do like the world, the vibes of the world. It's giving very much like Narnia and is it the Ice Queen? I haven't seen Narnia in probably like 10 years, but it's giving very Narnia, very snowy, very like taverns, warm little taverns with fires and like castles in the snow. Like the atmosphere, the environment is really cool. It's just everything else. A safe spot. Gimme. Hello, is everybody in here? It's a Beanie. Beanie dog. Did I finish Quicksilver, or did Quicksilver finish me? Is the topical question of today. I always feel really awkward when it comes time to review a book that I'm not the biggest fan of, especially when it's something as popular as this. And I feel like I've probably crapped on enough about what I didn't like about this book in the other couple of segments that I've spoken about it. All of that stands true. Two positives, okay? The final 20% of the book, as soon as I hit that 80% mark, the plot just like sped up so much, pacing improved so much. It actually got really interesting. I was not having to force myself to keep reading. I was actually kind of invested and like a little bit hooked on what was happening and interested and wanting to see where it went, but I unfortunately can't ignore the first 80%. So for Quicksilver, I'm gonna settle on a 2.5 stars. I sort of debated between a 2.5 and 3, but I didn't like the first 80% of the book, so we're going for a 2.5. Why did it get the 2.5 star? It got 1.5 stars for the final 20% because I actually got invested in the book for the first time. And it got 1 star for the little fox side character, Onyx. He was freaking adorable. Every time he came on the page, I just got like so much happier to be reading. That's my thoughts on Quicksilver. I was gonna say, if you're interested in it, maybe still give it a go. Like, I'm definitely an outlier when it comes to Quicksilver. I know a lot of people love it, but me personally, I just didn't gel with it. There was also I spent a lot of the book confused. Like, things would happen, but they weren't really explained, and someone would say something, but it wouldn't be elaborated on any further, and it was just kind of left me sitting there like, is this important information? Do I need to know this? Or are we just gonna brush past that? If you're interested in it, I would still suggest reading it. I'm not gonna tell anyone not to read something, but I started the third and final book of this video last night after finishing Quicksilver, which is of course gonna be Rain and Ruin. I was torn between this one and A Spark of the Everflame, but I think I want to dedicate a bigger allotment of time to reading A Spark of the Everflame so that I can go through the entire series. But Rain and Ruin, this is going to be a very stark contrast to the last book that we talked about. I'm enjoying this book so much. It's based in a Middle Eastern setting with a lot of like Middle East influences in like social hierarchies and things, which is really cool to read about because I've never read anything like it. And we have our two main characters. We have, I want to say it's Naima. I did have to Google how to pronounce her name. I think I'm doing okay. I think it's Naima. And then we also have Makram. Now, this book is heavy on the politics. Naima is our heroine and she's the daughter to the Sultan of one of these like leading cities, I want to say. I'm not really sure what the kingdoms, I don't know. She's the daughter to the Sultan who is like the leader, but he is starting to fall ill, succumb to dementia, so he's getting a little bit confused, getting a little bit angry, and it's making his job quite difficult. So Naima is sort of like subtly stepping up. She is really determined to take power. She's the heir to the throne, but as it goes in patriarchal society, there is a large council of men who don't think she deserves the throne, who are trying to kind of like offer up their sons to be her husband so that the sons can take the throne and she can like take a step back, you know. But she doesn't want that because she is an independent lady and we love her. And so she has reached out to this like other city over the mountain to potentially form an alliance, and this is where Makram comes in. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Maybe I should Google that as well. But this is where he comes in. He is the second in command and he receives the letters and he gives them to the first in command, and the first in command, who is his older brother, is like, we don't need to worry about them. I don't want an alliance with them. Whatever, make them wait. They're desperate, you know. Obviously, they coming crawling to us, kind of thing. And the second in command, Makram, is just kind of like, we're not as good as you think we are. I think we should probably take them up on this. So he goes behind his brother's back, makes the trek across the mountain, and meets the Sultana, who is Naima. And that's kind of where I'm up to so far. I'm really enjoying it. The politics are so much fun. The magic system in this book is kind of like a wheel, if I explain it that way, where like one side balances the other. So on this side we'd have like fire mages, on this side we'd have like water mages. I think we also have air mages, and I'm pretty sure there's 6 total because there's 6 houses, but I don't know that we've been introduced to the other 3. It's just very cool. It's very cool. Oh my god, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely a little bit hard to get your head around to begin with, especially going from reading first person for like a year, 2 years probably, trying to dive into third person. It took me a good 20% to actually wrap my head around who was who and who the author means when they say he and she and whatever, but it's finally kind of settled into my mind and it's making sense and I'm not struggling as much, and I'm really enjoying it. I can foresee this series being honestly very popular. I am definitely going to continue it if it keeps on this route. I'm just so happy to be loving a book, and I feel like I want to keep word vomiting about it, but I'm aware that you guys don't want to sit through an hour of me talking about one book. So I'm gonna go keep reading. I'm reading on my Kindle because this is on Kindle Unlimited. This isn't the worst I've looked in this vlog, and I think that is all that matters. But I finished. Oh my god, am I about to give this 5 stars? I think I might, you know. I loved Rain and Ruin so much, I can't even put it into words. I can't even put it into words, I can't even verbalize it. Oh my god, I literally just finished. I'm still like giddy, I'm still on a high. I've ordered the physical copy of the second book in the series, if that is any indication as to how much I loved it. Oh my god, okay. Okay, kind of a realization that I had while I was reading Rain and Ruin. I've seen a lot of people talk about like the difference between romantasy and fantasy romance, and I was always just kind of like, yeah, whatever. 2 names for the same thing. I understand the difference now. I understand the technicalities, the nuance. This fantasy romance. This romantasy. That feels like such a roast, I'm sorry. Okay, let me talk about Rain and Ruin. I do have some notes written down because I need to make sure I hit all the talking points. One of the kind of like main reasons that I really wanted to read Rain and Ruin was that I had seen someone mention the like awkward intimacy that happens between our 2 characters, and I am a big fan of that trope. I love it. It's just so innocent and endearing, and it's just like so fucking sweet to read about. I really like it. Naima and Makram, shut the front door. Shut the front door. Lock it, seal it closed, never open it again. The tension between them as well. Oh my god, this book is not like spicy by any means. There's 1 spicy scene and there's two like really tension filled, like they only kiss, but every touch is like scandalous, like oh my god, so freaking tension filled. I'm actually obsessed. Hit the nail on the head with that one. I loved that aspect of the book. So freaking cute. The other thing that I really adored about Rain and Ruin is actually Makram's adoration for Naima, because, you know, you read a lot of romance books and fantasy romance books these days, and it's just kind of like they fall in love because of her beauty first. But Makram, and he made it known, he fell head over heels with her brain, with her intelligence, with her mind, because Naima, she's smart, she's calculating, she's cunning, she knows how to solve a problem. She is fit for a queen, let me just say, and Makram's kind of first impression of her was her mind, was her brain. He kept making it known how much he admired her intelligence and just how smart she was, and I love that because it was true, but I just love that he kind of prioritized her mind over her beauty. She was beautiful as well, that was obviously a factor. It just, when a man loves a woman for her mind and not her body, what can I say? Getting more down to the kind of like nitty-gritty balances in this book, I think the political intrigue, the action, and the like romance subplot was balanced really well. This book is probably the heaviest on politics that I've read so far. It's very intensive. There's a lot of scenes with like the Sultana, with Naima's council, like her advisors. There are so many scenes. Basically the whole conflict in the book is between her and her like Grand Vizier, who is like the head of the council, and like they don't get along whatsoever. He is vying for her spot on the throne, but she keeps blocking him at every turn, which again, She's so smart, I love it. Definitely very heavy on the politics. I'm predicting that it could potentially settle down in the next few books because obviously we're following the queen in this book. She has to be clued in. I don't want to say this series is interconnected standalone because there is definitely going to be an overarching plot point following through the entire series, which I'm not sure if you have to read the first book before reading the next ones. So I'm unsure if it's interconnected standalone, but each book follows a different set of characters, like 2 different main characters. I'm editing right now and I just had a cheeky look on Goodreads, and the next book, the second book, is about Naima's like war general. He comes across as just like a huge little cinnamon scroll wrapped up in like a scary outfit, you know? So I'm really excited, and I'm pretty sure the heroine is a spy. Give it to me right now. I'm so excited. I think JD Evans did a fantastic job of like really letting you know the character motivations, balancing their weaknesses with their strengths. I will say there was a few just little like punctuations, spelling things, like mostly grammatical things here and there, but it's independently published. Like, I'm not going to tear it apart as much as I would a traditionally published book. Nothing was like indecipherable, so I don't really care. It's still getting a 5 stars for me because I just had such a good time. I'm so happy. If this book sounds up your alley, I would absolutely recommend it. It was also really interesting because another kind of selling point of it is that it's fantasy based like in the Middle East, which was so fascinating. It was really, really just fascinating to kind of like get a view of a different culture through a fantasy setting. And I think reading in the about author section, JD Evans, after a stint in Beirut, fell in love with the Levant, which it's inspired the setting for her debut series, Mages of the Wheel. It's obviously very heavily inspired. I'm pretty sure she was like she might have been in the military and was like a helicopter linguist communication person. I'm not sure, I can't remember. I read it like ages ago when I bought the second book. This book definitely did have a bit of a learning curve for the first 20% where I did struggle a little bit. I didn't really know what was happening because there was a lot of different terminology, obviously from different languages and from different cultural backgrounds that I didn't know. But so the Kindle like definition thing came in really, really handy, and like after that 20% I kind of knew what was happening, what was going on, and it was just so freaking cool. And the third person sort of took that 20% to get used to as well, but that's because I don't really read third person. I don't think I've read third person since Tessa Bailey like 3 years ago. I think that's all I have to say. I find myself wanting to keep talking about this book because it's not the most popular, so I'm like, I want everyone to know about it, to find out about it. I don't want this video to end because I've been having such a good time, but I do unfortunately have to wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Shall we do a little review, little star rating recap? 5 stars, obviously. 2.5, 4 stars, because the first one was 4.5. Thank you guys so much for joining me as we read all of these books. I did have a very good time despite one of them being a little bit of a letdown, but I really hope you enjoyed this video as well. I would love to do more videos like this in the future, so keep your eyes peeled. I'm planning on filming a lot more reading vlogs this year, let me just say that, so keep your eyes peeled. I'm about to start another one that I'm equally as excited for. Also a little bit nervous. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe because I would love to have you here. My Goodreads and Instagram are always linked down in the description if you want to check them out, if you want to follow me on Goodreads to keep up with my reviews, or if you just want to hit me up on Instagram, talk about some books with me. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for like the 3rd and final time with this video, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!